This is Deshaun Hamilton, wide receiver for the Denver Broncos, and you're listening to LCC Network.
Hey everyone, welcome to Commissioner's Clubhouse on the LCC Network for Week 5, Episode 2, and it is our game day episode. I know you guys have been looking forward to it. With me today, I've got Jameson, but no Isaac, and yeah, unfortunately, but we're good. How's it going?
Yeah, unfortunately some more technical difficulties between the episodes. Isaac couldn't join us for this one, but we'll look to have that resolved here in the coming weeks. So we'll get all this figured out. But Pat, we got a new sound drop for the game of the week. You want to hear it?
I want to hear it.
All right, well, we'll drop it and then we'll get into it.
It's football time! Once again, it's all.
Little Madden 2004 throwback back to when Michael Vick was on the cover. So it's been a while. All right, man, let's get straight into the game of the week. We'll let you kind of lead with the history here and as we discuss some of these things. So by a fairly decent margin, your game against Billy, one game of the week, 2 4-0 teams, two teams with a lot of expectations last year and this year. Obviously you guys matched up in the playoffs last year where Billy beat you in advance. So run us through a little bit of what we can expect here.
Yeah, so a year ago to the day, I played Billy in a pretty anticipated game. I think that may have been game of the week as well. I beat him 258 to 239 in a very low scoring game. He ended up beating me in the wild card round and eliminating me from the playoffs, winning 237 to 207. It's like when I play Billy, I'm at my worst somehow. Like this guy just catches me, man, on the worst weeks possible. But that's fantasy football for you. Anything can happen. What history wise, yes, 2-2 split. Played each other every year since Billy's joined the league in 2016. Obviously, he's had a lot of success besides his rookie year, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, so as we mentioned in the last episode, I believe you lead the league in scoring by a wide margin. Billy hasn't been scored on that often. I think it changes this week. He faces a team that's going to put up a lot of points on him. I think I'm picking you in this one, man, to go 5-0.
Yeah, I hate picking myself, man, and because that means if I end up losing and I pick myself, it's like a double whammy, right? I mean, it goes against me in our pick'em thing. It goes against me in real life. It sucks. I'm gonna pick myself to lose because of that. I don't want to deal with that come Monday or Sunday whenever our game's decided. I don't want that in my life. I want to be able to.
You don't want to start your week on such a negative note. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To lose both ways. He's projected to beat you by 29 points right now. So the projections do fall in his favor. And he does have some matchups that I'd feel confident in, honestly. Zeke, Aaron Rodgers, Todd Gurley, Adams, Cooper. Mac is going back to Oakland to play against Derek Carr and Gruden, who traded him. So, I mean, he could have a big with this. I think this is easily a 300+ game for both of you guys, given your history at this point.
Well, I hope I break 300. I mean, that means I at least gave him a good game. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier,
Yeah.
It just seems like every time I play him, man, it just fall on my face somehow. But things happen. It'll be good.
Yeah,
though. I think it's gonna be high scoring too.
Did you get Isaac's pick for this game?
I did not actually. That's the one thing he did not put in our show doc. Is this one game?
Okay, I'm gonna text him as we move on to the next one and see what he says, and I'll skip back to it. So, anything else you want to add or comment on, or any notes that you want to relay to Billy as he's listening to this podcast on Thursday morning?
Man, Billy, best of luck to you, man. Hopefully, I can get my revenge from the playoffs, but just seems like anything that could possibly happen to me happens to me when I play. I will say projections though. Billy's projected to win 296 to 267. Let's hope it's not that bad if I lose. Hopefully, it's
That
at least respectable.
Yeah, hopefully you want to give him a good fight. At the very least, you want to give him a run for his money. Make him sweat it out a little bit into Monday morning, right? You don't want
Yeah.
to just turn over for him too easy. So Isaac just texted me back before we move on. He texted me back and said, "Pat's bitch ass. You better quote me too." So he's picking quote unquote Pat's bitch ass.
That's
End
right.
quote.
This bitch.
So that way, Billy, you're hearing this Thursday morning, I believe. You can text Isaac and let him know that you got his message loud and clear. Weekly matchups. So outside of game of the week, we've got Afternoon Delights, and of course,
Afternoon Delight.
the sound drop here, playing Hunter of Champions. Both teams 3-1. Pat, what's the history here? They've played in the same conference for a few years now.
That's right. They have a little bit of history, to say the least, at this point. I want to say, I mean, obviously Daquan's been in the league since the first year of 2010, but last year was the first time Daquan and Michael played. In week 10 of 2018, Michael won 294 to 266. So by 28 points, it was decided. And that,
Oh, wait. Jordan and Hunter. You skipped
God, fuck it.
Oh my God, Jesus! It's late.
Jesus.
It's late. We've been working with technical issues. Yeah, no, we'll get to Daquan and Michael in a second. Jordan Hunter.
So yeah, to kick it off, it's Jordan 3-1 versus Hunter of Champions 3-1. This game, I think, should have been game of the week as well. This could easily decide, bye weeks and stuff. Not Daquan. Jordan is the real deal this year in 2019. Hunter's pretty good, but I don't think he's lived up to our expectations thus far in terms of points scored. Record, yeah, he's doing good, but I think he could be doing better. And the history behind it, sorry, I lost track.
I didn't know if you were done. Because last week you had that really abrupt cutoff.
A sniper got me. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
All right. So no, they played each other twice before. 2017, week 10, Hunter won. And then week 7, 2018, Hunter won 252 to 207. So Jordan has never beaten Hunter. Never, ever, ever. But this is going to be a good game.
Yeah, and he hasn't beaten him yet to this point, but I think he gets it this week. Even though he's projected to lose by over 30 points, which sounds outrageous to me given what Jordan's been able to do. I'm going with Jordan in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you with that.
Okay, and Isaac is in consensus. He does have that one in the show doc already, so he was ahead of the game there, picking Jordan. So we'll see what happens. That one should be a very good one this week. That was one of those that I actually considered for game of the week when I was doing my voting. Patrick, since you just could not hold your horses, let's go ahead and talk about Daquan and Michael. You seemed so excited to do it earlier. Daquan 4-0. Michael 2-2, actually surprising us, holding his own there in that conference, in that division.
Yeah, so there's not much history here. They've only played each other once before. Again, 2018 week 10, Michael won in an upset 294 to 266. Michael last year is nothing like Michael this year. It's like someone possessed the Michael of years past, and now all of a sudden he looks pretty good compared to years past again. Jameson, I'm going with an upset here with Michael. There's something in the wind. Do you know what I mean? When you get a whiff of something, you're like, man, that dude just farted. That's how I feel right
and it kind of blindsides you. Right?
Yeah.
You're not expecting it. You don't know what to say. You don't want to embarrass him, or you don't want to say anything out loud usually, right? So you just kind of like deal with it. But no, I actually agree. Isaac is taking Daquan here, but this is a trap game if I've ever seen it. Projections 257, 256 in Daquan's favor, so literally a point. But Michael, man, he's got matchups this week that I love. Everson Griffin, Blake Martinez, Adam Thielen against that Giants secondary, which has been atrocious. Christian McCaffrey, obviously. Russell Wilson's been on fire. Man, I think Michael's going to upset him. He's going to upset Daquan.
I've got that feeling too. I've got
Yep.
it too, man.
Yep.
100%.
Isaac did pick Daquan for the record, so we'll see what happens. But I think that one's going to be a lot closer than people think it is. A lot closer than people think it is. Moving on to our next one here, we've got Colby 4-0. We've talked a little bit about him and his points for and points against and how we expect some of that to change as we move toward the rest of the season. And then we've got Mondo, the hash-slinging slasher.
The hash-slinging slasher!
Oh, yes. That might be one of my new favorite sound drafts.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Heading into a matchup that I think should also be a very good game. A lot of good games on the slate this week. Any history here, Pat?
None whatsoever, since Mondo, this is his first year in the league, obviously. But I think he's holding his own as a rookie owner. That's kind of one of the narratives I feel like this year is we've got two guys that are, if you want to call them rookie owners, sure, but realistically, they've been in the league before. And then you've got the hash-slinging slashers here who's looking pretty deadly. No pun intended. And I think we've got ourselves a pretty solid rookie here that could pull out an upset. I again, this is another one that I think could go in a way that some people may not expect.
Yeah, same deal. We talked about it on the show last week, or last episode, that Colby's 4-0, but he hasn't been scored on hardly at all. He's one of the lowest in the league, if not the lowest in the league. Not putting up a ton of points, even though he's getting the games done. But Mondo, on the other end of that, scored a lot against him, but scoring a lot of points for one of the number 3 in the league right now. So I definitely am going Mondo here in what is probably considered an upset. But to me, I think I don't really think it's much of an upset given their metrics right now. And then Isaac is on board with that too. He also picked Mondo to win this game.
I mean, Mondo started out 0-2, and now he's 2-2. If he wins this, he's 3-2, and right there in it for first place in his division.
Yep, exactly. Moving on here, we got the crazy legs. Matt started 2-0, lost the last 2 games. Patrick, you picked him 1 week, and that was when his losing streak started. So I'm sure he doesn't want you to do that anymore.
Kiss of death.
The kiss of death, as we call it here. And then the third leg, Charles, 1-3. We thought would have a promising season. Hasn't really turned out for him so far. Pat, what do we got here?
Oof. We have got something special, I feel like, man. 2 guys that know each other pretty well. Like you said, obviously Matt's on a 2-game losing streak. Charles lost last week, so it's like a 1-game losing streak. But the series is split. They played each other first in 2016, week 5. Charles won 238 to 161. Then week 10 in 2017, Matt won 238 to 203. And you got to think and remember here, 2016, that first matchup was Matt's last championship run. I mean, he beat him at his very best. I'm talking about Charles there. I don't know, man. This is a game I feel like that could be very close. This might be honestly be one of my favorite weeks for matchups. If you talk about just evenly split up, you've got some of the good teams playing against each other. You've got some teams that could easily be playing up to their competition. In this matchup, though, for me at least, I don't know about you, but I've got Matt in a very close game, maybe 10 to 15 points deciding it.
I agree. Matt is considered the underdog in the projections, but I've got him getting right. Back on track here. Matt, I'm sure Matt does not want to hear that from you, Patrick.
No,
that's the kiss of death. But that's unanimous across the board. Isaac picked him too. So good luck with that game. That one, I think, as we've mentioned with a few others, could be actually pretty interesting. One that I don't expect to be close, although Storm has surprised us a little bit. Mufali versus Storm in a game that should be a get-right game for Storm, right? He's lost 2 in a row now. His metrics haven't looked fantastic. They're not awful. So right now it's kind of one of those middle-of-the-road teams that's been a little disappointing relative to expectations. Storm took down Cameron in a giant comeback for his only win of the season. before being beaten 3 other times. So, Pat, what can we expect?
This is the thing, man. They played each other 2017, 2018 back-to-back years, but then Storm also played Mafali in his first year ever in the league, 2014. I mean, that's throwback right there. That was, just to kind of tell you how far back this was. Mafali's team was the Get Money team back then. Week 4, anyways, of that year, Storm won 197 to 109. Then ever since, Mafali's owned him. Week 11, 2017, Mafali won 283 to 237, and then week 9 last year, 336 to 295. I think this is going to be. I think Mafali gets through this and pulls out a pretty easy win.
I agree. It's unanimous across the board. He is favored right now, although the lineup isn't set. He'll probably be favored by probably 10 to 15 points when the lineups are set. Another one here that we expect to be kind of in the similar vein as the Mufali Storm game is Cody versus Finkel. Both 1-3. So maybe it'll be closer than we expect, but right now the projections do not bear that out, with Cody projected to run all over Finkel as Einhorn this coming week. So Pat, what does this look like?
No history between these teams, despite the fact that Matthew Watchorn's been in the league 2 years prior to this. Both 1-3. Team Watchorn is coming off a 1-game win. Or listen to me, I'm just mixing all my words up tonight. He started out 0-3 and now is 1-3, whereas Cody was at one point 1-1 and now is 1-3. And you've got to be asking yourself, what has happened to a reigning champion? What has happened to the top shot as reigning champion? Is this the game where we say, all right, things look really bleak for Cody? Or is this where he turns it around and kind of walks off with a grand slam on Matthew Watchorn?
Actually, it looks like all of us are projecting the latter, right? So we're all going that this is a get right game for Cody. Should get back on track, 2-3, get back in that conference race. I don't think we should. I don't think it would be. I mean, given what's happening this season, it's a weird season. All sorts of things can happen, but I think it's the most rational train of thought to believe that Cody can get back on track in this game.
I mean, if you really think about it, this might be the last very winnable game Cody has until he plays Storm in the later part of the year. I mean, he's still got my dad in week 6. He's still got you week 12. He's still got to go up against Colby later in the year. He's still got to go against at least one or two more former division champions. This, again, if he doesn't win this, you got to be scared if you're Cody. You got to be panicking a little bit if you lose this game. Now, again, like James has said, I don't think that's going to happen. I've got Cody in this.
Yep. That week 12 game with me is not looking very scary for either one of us right now. It might be a 234, 244 game or something like that. Like it does not look like I expected it to look. Next game, Buck Your Mother versus Abusement Park, Isaac versus Peyton. We've talked about Isaac scoring a lot of points this year, even though he's 1-3. We've talked about Peyton getting off to a hot start in points. He's actually doing fairly well. He's been scored on a lot. He's 0-4. How many times have they played each other, if ever?
They've only played each other once before, and that was last year in week 9. Isaac won 316 to 285. Not a very close game, but this is a very critical game for both teams. Obviously, Peyton is facing 0-4, has not won since December of 2018. It's been almost we're approaching a year now. Isaac is now on a 3-game losing streak since week 1. This is a must-win game. You think about it. If Peyton loses this game and Billy wins, now all of a sudden he's 5 games behind in his division. If the same thing happens to Isaac, he's 4 games behind in the division. That's not a position you want to be in at this point of the year.
With 7 games left. at that point.
Yeah.
The loser of this game, I think their chances at winning their division might be shot, depending on what their opponents
Definitely
do.
shot for Peyton. Maybe not so much for Isaac because at least he has one win.
Yeah, it'd be tough for sure. So this is you're right. I get a game they both need to win. I'm going with Isaac in a similar fashion to last year. Isaac is also picking himself, according to the chart here, and it looks like you're on Isaac's kind of bandwagon too for this week.
Yeah, we talked about Peyton getting scored on the line. I think we're going to see the same here. Isaac's probably going to break 300 again, and I don't know if Peyton's going to be able to match this without Saquon.
All right, fair enough. Eastside Brawlers versus the Spurs here. So, Pat, I mean, obviously this is a father-son matchup. They're both 2-2. A lot of league history. John's projected to win this game, but I mean, what have we seen in the past between these guys?
Well, the narrative between this rivalry since 2012, ever since then, has been, when is Cameron ever going to beat him again? Because that's how long it's been. Just over 7 years now was the last time Cameron won. Week 4, 2012, Cameron won 140 to 101. I mean, that's
1 second. This deserves. That's a long time.
That is a long. I'm trying to remember what was going on in 2012. The Xbox One had only been out for what, maybe a year, not even.
Yeah. The San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens were in the Super Bowl, I believe.
Jeez. Good God. Ray Lewis is still playing.
Ray Lewis is still playing. we were freshmen in college. It's been a long time.
Randy Moss was still in the NFL.
Randy Moss was playing football. Oh, man. That puts it in perspective there. Yeah, so it looks like we're all picking John across the board to beat Cameron. Cameron stormed back and beat Isaac last week, but we're not expecting that to happen this week. It doesn't look like. Yeah,
and I think you look at their ceilings. My dad, Eastside Brawler's ceiling is way higher than Cameron's at this point. We've seen it. He almost broke 400. Cameron is hovering around the low 300s and a little below that. I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do expect Eastside Brawlers to come away with a win.
All right, we'll speed up just a little bit here. Big Oss versus Give Me More. Real quickly, so Give Me More. I'm thinking about changing my name next year to Fig Newton, with a picture of Cam Newton dressed like a post game interview, right? So guys, let me know what you guys think about that, and if I get enough support, I'll definitely do that. I don't know if we've played each other or not when Big Oss was in the league before. Do you have any record of that?
Yeah, you guys have never played each other, actually.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a 1-3, 1-3. Neither one of us are scoring well, not doing well at all. We've actually talked back and forth about trades that we've never been able to really work out. But, man, you guys picked me. You and Isaac picked me. Until I get more consistency from my whole team, I guess I feel like at this point, my wide receivers especially, I've got to pick Big Oss. I can't in good conscience pick myself right now with how this roster's been performing.
No, I mean, I totally get it. I mean, you've been up and down. I mean, you've both proven you can score over 300. So it's really anybody's ball game, in my opinion. But I am picking you in this one. I just feel like your ceiling's a little bit higher. You know what I mean?
It's projected close. It's projected very, very close. So we will see what happens. Dirty Mike and the boys versus Protect the Booty. Tyler.
You got to do the sound drop. You got to do it.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Mike.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys?
Tyler just can't get out of his own way. 1-3. Scoring is atrocious. I'm surprised that he won a game. He played Jade to get the victory. Mike, on the other hand, had his best week of the year against me last week. Obviously, I wouldn't expect that again, but he won't need it against Tyler. 2-2. Tyler 1-3. Have they played each other before?
They have. It's been a minute. It was 2017 the last time both these guys played each other, which is the last time Mike made the playoffs in his rookie season. So, again, it's been a little while. Obviously, never been in the same division. So naturally just won't be a lot of history between both guys since, Mike's a little bit new to the league to some degree at least. But sorry, I lost my place every year. What happened in 2017? God, don't you love it? Like when your computer just refreshes on you. That's
They
fun.
played some football. That much we do know.
Yeah. They there it is. There it is. Week 10, 2017. Mike won 245 to 176. So not a very pretty outing for Tyler then, which is pretty natural for Tyler in that point of the year.
That point of the season. And you might see another number like that, honestly, with how Tyler's been going and how Mike's been. You could see a very similar number to that. This week we're all on the Mike train. Gonna go in that house and rob Tyler. So choo. I could just picture him like robbing a house, like on his way out. I was like, choo motherfucker, or something. But we'll so we're all aboard picking Mike in that one. So very last matchup, Beg for G-Reg BP versus Jade. Terrible Towels. After the beating Big Austin week 1, Jade's dropped 3 straight. He has looked atrocious in his points for. He hasn't been able to build on the waiver wire because there's nobody there. He made multiple moves last week to try to rebuild what was a very bad defense, and it didn't really seem to pay off much in playing against Tyler. So he's facing a team that has kind of a hot streak right now with BP getting some wins, and I think we're all expecting the same kind of track for BP.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. Jade is, and we talked about it in the last episode, man, this is a low point for this franchise of Terrible Towels. I don't think I've ever seen Jade put together a team performing this poorly, especially early on in the year. I think BP is going to win this, like you just said, Jameson. His team's not the greatest, but at least he's scoring in the 280s. You know what I mean? Any given week. Whereas Jade didn't even break 200 last week. You got to start wondering, is he going to start rebuilding for next year before the middle part of the season begins?
After this week, I think is when we'll start seeing people make those moves, right? They'll start, sending trade offers out to people trying to move up for next year or get draft picks for next year. So it'll become a lot more clear what people do depending on what happens in week 5. But yeah, we're all aboard the picking BP this week. So, all right, guys, that's all the game previews. We're done with week 5. So we hope you like it.
Did we get Jordan's sound drop on here? I don't think we did it. Did we?
Did we do Jordan's sound drop? I thought we did. If we missed it again,
Afternoon delight.
Do it again.
There we go.
I feel like we always do it at the end of the episode. Just kind of natural.
No, I think we hit it though. Jordan, text me and let me know if we hit it the first time or not. All right, guys. With that, we are done, and we will see you in week 6. Goodbye.